What happens when two completely different footballing styles collide at the highest level? On one side, you have chaos, raw, unpredictable brilliance that leaves defenders frozen in place. On the other, pure control, precision, intelligence, and creativity that lifts an entire team to another level. This isn't about opinions anymore. It's about impact. And in 2026, two names are redefining what dominance looks like in European football: Lamine Yamal and Michael Olise. A new era is already here. Football has always moved in eras. From Pele to Maradona, from Zidane to Ronaldinho, and then the unforgettable dominance of Messi and Ronaldo. For years, the world searched for the next clear successor. But what we're witnessing now feels different. Instead of one player taking over, two completely unique forces are rising at the same time, each reshaping the game in their own way. Lamine Yamal represents explosive, individual brilliance, unpredictable, fearless, and creative. Michael Olise represents calculated excellence, measured, intelligent, and system-driven. Both are elite. Both are feared. But only one might eventually define this new generation: Lamine Yamal, the unpredictable genius. At just 18 years old, Lamine Yamal has already moved beyond the label of young talent. He is now a global phenomenon. His journey began early at Barcelona's academy, where his rise was so rapid that records started breaking before most players even reached professional football. By the age of 15, he had already made history as one of the youngest players to debut at the highest level. But what truly sets Yamal apart is not just his age, it's the way he plays. There's a natural freedom in his game that cannot be coached. Defenders don't just struggle against him, they hesitate. They panic. His dribbling is sharp and instinctive, his movement unpredictable, and his decisions shockingly mature for someone so young. During the 2024-2025 season, he announced himself to the world with authority, combining goals, assists, and influence in a way that helped drive Barcelona to major success. By 2026, he had taken another leap, becoming directly involved in a huge percentage of his team's goals. At such a young age, that level of responsibility and impact is not just rare, it's extraordinary. More than talent. What makes Yamal even more dangerous is how quickly he evolves. Early in his career, his game revolved heavily around dribbling and flair. Now he has developed into a far more complete footballer. His off-ball movement has improved significantly, allowing him to exploit space instead of always demanding the ball at his feet. His passing has become sharper and more deliberate, especially in tight areas where games are often decided. He is no longer just a traditional winger stuck near the sideline. Instead, he drifts into central areas, influencing the tempo of the game and creating opportunities for others. Statistically, he is among the most aggressive and effective attackers in Europe, consistently progressing the ball forward and forcing defenders into desperate challenges. And that's the key point. Defenders don't stop him cleanly. They foul him. Because they know if they don't, he will create something dangerous. That constant pressure he applies is what separates good players from game changers. Michael Olise, the architect of dominance. If Yamal represents chaos, then Michael Olise represents control in its purest form. At 24, Olise has reached a level of maturity that defines elite players. His game is not built on raw flair or unpredictability, it is built on intelligence, timing, and awareness. He sees the game differently. While others rush decisions, he calculates them. While others rely on individual actions, he focuses on creating opportunities for the entire team. After developing in England and making his mark in the Premier League, his move to Bayern Munich transformed his career completely. The Bayern transformation. At Bayern Munich, Olise didn't just adapt, he took over. From his very first season, it became clear that he was more than just another attacking player. He became the core of the system. His combination of goals and assists immediately placed him among the most productive players in Europe, and his influence continued to grow. By 2026, he had elevated his game even further. His ability to consistently deliver goals and assists made him one of the most important players in European football. But beyond the numbers, what truly stands out is how much control he has over matches. He doesn't just participate in games, he dictates them. The brain behind Bayern's attack. Bayern Munich's attack is one of the most feared in world football, and at the center of it all is Olise. His role goes far beyond simple creativity. He acts as the link between midfield and attack, controlling tempo, positioning, and movement. His passing in the final third is remarkably precise, especially considering how often he attempts difficult, high-risk plays. He doesn't just create chances, he creates clear, decisive opportunities that lead directly to goals. His understanding of space, timing, and positioning allows Bayern to function at an entirely different level. Without him, the system loses its rhythm. With him, everything flows. Big game performer. The true test of elite players is not consistency alone, it's performance in big moments. And this is where Olise proves his quality again and again. Whether it's in the Champions League, crucial league matches, or high-pressure situations, he consistently steps up. He delivers when it matters most. Sometimes it's a perfectly weighted assist, sometimes it's a decisive goal, and sometimes it's simply controlling the game so completely that the opposition never has a chance to recover. Even at the international level, his influence continues to grow, establishing himself as a key figure for France. 2 players, 2 styles, 1 question. This brings us to the core of the debate. Not who is more talented, not who is more entertaining, but who is more valuable. Yamal brings unpredictability. Olise brings control. Yamal can change a match in seconds with a moment of brilliance. Olise can control an entire game from start to finish. Both approaches are equally powerful, but in completely different ways. Numbers versus impact. Statistically, both players are dominating European football. Yamal's numbers reflect his direct involvement in goals and his ability to break defensive lines with ease. Olise's numbers highlight his creativity, consistency, and central role in one of the strongest attacking systems in the world. But numbers alone don't tell the full story. Yamal creates chaos, forcing defenders into mistakes and opening up games. Olise creates structure, ensuring his team operates efficiently and effectively. Depending on what a team needs, either player could be considered more valuable. Experience versus potential. Another crucial difference lies in their age and stage of development. Olise is already in his prime, with a refined and complete skill set. He understands the game at a deep level and executes consistently at the highest standard. Yamal, on the other hand, is still evolving. And that's what makes him so exciting and so dangerous. Because if he is already performing at this level, his potential ceiling is almost impossible to predict. Who is better? The answer depends entirely on perspective. If you value control, intelligence, and consistent influence over games, then Michael Olise stands out. But if you value excitement, unpredictability, and raw individual brilliance, then Lamine Yamal is unmatched. At this moment, Olise may have a slight edge in overall impact. But Yamal is closing that gap rapidly, and perhaps sooner than anyone expects. This isn't just a comparison between 2 players. It's the beginning of a new era in football. An era where different styles can coexist at the very top. Where chaos meets control and creativity meets precision. And for fans, this is the best possible outcome. Because witnessing 2 generational talents rise at the same time is rare. Watching them push each other to new heights is even rarer. And maybe the real question isn't who's better, it's how far both of them can go from here. Because what we're witnessing right now might just be the beginning of a new football era. So if you enjoyed this and want more content like this, make sure you like and subscribe.